and Hey guys! My name is Finn, and in this video I want to talk about my experience during my first week working as a fundraiser or campaigner, however you want to call it, for Save the Children. So I was actually supposed to have my very first deployment mid of September, but last week the person who was supposed to be on this campaign I was now on got sick, so he couldn't come, and so they asked around if anyone wanted to jump in, and so I said, here, I want to, and so that's why I did this week. Because I didn't work the whole week, I arrived on Tuesday evening, worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, 4 out of the usual 6 days, and then went back home on Sunday. I want to talk about how the usual week looks like on campaign. So one campaign is always one whole week from Sunday to Sunday, and you work Monday through Saturday, six days. So on Sunday you arrive at the apartment you will stay, and you meet your team members, and you kind of get into it. You maybe do some role playing to get the conversation back in, so you can really jumpstart on Monday. Work Monday through Saturday, and then on Sunday you either go back home, or if you have multiple campaigns back to back, you use Sunday to get you to your new destination and do the whole thing over again. How does a usual work day look like? So you will always work from 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. and so you get up depending on how long you drive there. Usually it's 15 to 30 minutes. We drove 15 minutes. So you get up whenever you need to be ready at the time. I mean, you're responsible. So I got up at between 7 and 8 a.m. because I always prepared my lunch in the morning. So I cooked that, you shower, do whatever you do in the morning to get ready. And then we left at 9:30, 9:20 to the IKEA we worked. Had a 15-minute drive. Then we got set up in the IKEA and set up the booth, get prepared. And then 10 a.m. we start, and until 8 p.m. like I said. And you have 2 hours of breaks, which you can split up however you want. Usually it's one long lunch break and then multiple small breaks, but however you work, what works best for you, that's how you split up your breaks. And then during your work time you approach as many people as possible and try to have as many conversations as possible and try to get as many supporters as possible. So it's really like next person. You approach a person, hey, have you ever heard of Save the Children? No, great, we are allowed to introduce our work today in this IKEA, and I would love to invite you to a 2-minute conversation. Just follow me. And then you have the conversation. If they have questions, you answer them. And then at the end you ask if they would like to contribute and be part of Save the Children. And then you do it over and over and over again. And so it's really a crash course in meeting people, in communication skills, in getting to know a bit human psychology, I guess. And the team always consists of one team leader and then 2 or 3 campaigners, so always a group of 3 or 4 people. We were a group of 3, me and 2 girls, and we came along very well. Both were 27 years old, and both already had 1 and 2 years of experience working for Save the Children, so they really could show me a lot, teach me a lot. So what were the things I liked most? One thing is really like the team dynamic, and because while you work, so you really push and try to get the whole team to get into a high energy state. But then in contrast, like the very chill and relaxed vibe when you're at the apartment with the team, cooking together, eating together, and having breakfast, dinner, all this, like watching some TV maybe in the evening. So this contrast of really like pushing each other to high energy states while at work, and then really relaxed and kind of family like structure when we're at the apartment. And the other thing I liked a lot, the job is just so exhausting and very long days, and so nobody really is in it for the money. All of them like doing what they do, and all of them like the job. So you don't really have this kind of, oh, no, we have to get to the job, I don't want to. And what are the things I didn't like? To be honest, and that might sound cliche, but there wasn't really anything I disliked. But I want to talk a bit about the things people might dislike. It's very exhausting. So I would guess that's something you might not like, but for me personally, like, I expected that, and I like that part because it's really intense. It's really, like I said, a crash course in communication. It's not like I do this for a few hours and then I get back and that kind. It's really hardcore, and for me that's fun. Like, to really go hard for 8-10 hours in the IKEA, that's fun for me. But people have to know themselves. And the second thing I think people might dislike, you get rejected a lot of times. So you approach a lot of people and you of course try to get them into a conversation, but most of the time people don't want to be in a conversation with you. So you hear a lot of no's, you hear a lot of I don't have time, you hear a lot of leave me alone with this, and maybe even some more negative stuff. And you have to cope with that because you will get a lot more no's than you will get yeses. And for me also, that was no problem at all, because I don't know, it didn't bother me like at all. Like, if someone said no or was very had a very bad mood, I just, like, it didn't even register for me in my brain. I just went straight to the next person and did not think about it at all. But if you're a person who really might get frustrated from this or really gets hung up from this, like, this guy, what did he say, what the fuck, if you're that kind of person, then you might really get frustrated, because you will get a lot of rejection, and that's just part of it. There's nothing else I can tell you. Of course, I also want to do some bragging, because my week went actually very well, and I mean, like, very well, because, like, to give some context, usually the average, like I heard, is between 4 to 5 people, like 4 to 5 new supporters per day consistently, for people who already got into it a bit. And for me, on my first and second day, I got 5 people, so I was about average. On my third day, I got 9 people, and then on my fourth day, I got 60 new supporters, which is quite a lot, to be honest. And I don't know how I did it, honestly. So actually, I was one person close to the all-time high record. The highest amount someone ever signed was 7 people. Actually, it was set by my coach. So I got one person close to the record and 2 people close to setting the new record. Very close. But I mean, I can still do it next time I'm on campaign, which will be mid of September. So I'm actually going for the all-time high record. And that's all I want to talk about today. So thank you all for listening. And if you have any questions, if you think I left anything out, anything I should talk about more, let me know, comment below, or write me anywhere on social media, and I would love to answer any of your questions.